1460 WVOX.
Stay tuned now for the Racing for Heroes radio show with host Brett Morash on 1460 WVOX.
All right, hey race fans, it's Brett Morash. It is Friday the 13th August of 2021. We're here on WVOX 1460 AM and worldwide WVOX.com, and we're streaming Facebook Live as well. We have two awesome guests today, both drivers, but our first guest is the Tony Lacy, rally car driver and veteran of the U.S. Army. Tony, how are you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How is the weather down in North Carolina?
Hot.
It's
Very hot.
It's pretty hot and humid up here. I'm going to be down there on Sunday, so I'm getting ready for like 10 degrees more than I am now.
Yeah. I was talking to my crew chief this morning, and he said in the shop he lasered the roof, and it was 140 degrees.
That's like Djibouti hot. Like, yeah. That's how hot that is. When I was in Djibouti, quick, sea story. One day it was 137 on the dry bulb, and on the base, and people didn't believe me. We took a picture and everything. And those like chocolate Easter bunnies. It was like around Easter time, they would put them out and let them melt and see how long it would take to melt them. Anyway, yeah. Now, so you told.
I was lucky on my last 4 rotations. I was pretty much on reverse schedule. So.
Roger.
At night, slept during the day. So.
Got you. See a little more gentlemanly time frame, and you were actually probably on East Coast time too. So it was probably good to be able to talk to the family and stuff like that. See, that's the stuff that goes to us veterans' minds.
Right.
Hey, so Tony, tell us. So you were in the Army, and then in the Signal Corps, right? It was like kind of your branch that you started with. Is that right?
No, Intel.
Oh, Intel. I'm so sorry. So you went to Goodfellow out in San Angelo, Texas, right?
I did back in the olden days, like 1992.
Oh, okay. All right. So you and I started about the same time because I went active in 93. But I'll tell you a funny Texas story, not so funny. So I was in Killeen, Texas, where Fort Hood is, as you know, and I was going to go visit my friend Darcy Maloney, Air Force, who was an instructor out at Goodfellow. And I left Fort Hood with about a quarter tank of gas, and I'm like, easy day. I'm just going to go get some gas down the road. And that 1 inch on the map in Texas is a lot further of a distance than you would think it is. And a quarter tank is not appropriate driving anywhere in Texas.
Very true.
So anyway, but listen, let's talk a little bit about what you do in the service. So like, I know you worked with special operations and intel support. So how did that go?
It was, for 22 years, it went by quickly. I started out as a what's called 98 Charlie, electronic warfare signals intelligence analyst. I went through my training, and I was one of the last classes to do both Goodfellow and Fort Devens. Fort Devens is where they used to run the Morse code guys and the tactical intel, SIG and intel folks. So I showed up in the 82nd back in end of 92 or 93, 93, somewhere around there. Did 3 years as a paratrooper here. They found out I wasn't very good as an analyst, but I could carry a heavy backpack. So I spent most of my time on what's called a low-level voice intercept team, and then left there and went over to England for 3 years, where I kind of got the addiction for racing. I was riding motorcycles back then, and England's an awesome place to ride a motorcycle when it's not raining. Yeah,
did you get to drive like things like BSAs and stuff like that?
Just so many different good bikes over there and places to ride. They're very friendly to most riders.
Well, yeah, because they even have things like we don't really do here, like cafe racers, right? Which is sort of like a kludge together of multiple bikes.
Right, cafe racers, street fighters were a more modern take on the cafe racers. And we hung out in a lot of little clubs and stuff for bikes, and we did that, and I started spectating rally racing over there. So, and then left England and went to Japan to the 1st Special Forces Group, and between there and Fort Bragg a couple times, and then the war started, and the rest was I was tactical, what's called Special Operations Team Alpha, so organic, so Special Forces Battalion that's again, low-level voice intercept. We didn't call it that. We had different names for it, but did SIG and support for special operations until I retired out of Fort Bragg here in 2013.
Oh, so you and I did retire at the same time. I was July 1st of 2013 was my last day. Although I was in terminal leave way before that. And then, and by the way, Jimmy Spretcher just gave me the rock and roll symbol on text. So that's a little shout out for Jimmy there.
Love Jimmy.
Oh, he's the man. He is the man. But so are you, Tony. So let's talk about rally racing, though. So I think that one of my favorite things to do is to watch rally car crashes. I know it's terrifying for the people in the car, but it's a lot of fun for me and my son to watch. So besides rally car crashes, tell us about what that looks like.
So rally, stage rally, it's not as big here as it is in Europe, but it's a race venue a lot of Americans aren't real familiar with. So we race, it's very much like a time trial. We race on intervals, about a minute apart. We launch out. Can be greater than that if there is dust issues or
sure
stage issues. But we race stages. A series of stages is what it's called, and then we have to drive. Our cars are street legal, but they're fully, pretty much like a FIA compliant cage and all the safety gear. So they're legal road cars that we have set up for rally racing. We race, and there's two people in the car. You have a driver and a co-driver or a navigator. Different people call them different things, but they're reading pace notes. They're telling us the course, because it's unlike most forms of racing. We don't, it's not a closed course. We don't run it or a circle course. So instead of 4 corners, 100 times each, we run 100 corners one time each. So
right, it's like literally like driving on a road, except really, really fast. And
right.
and that's what your co-driver's doing, right? They're saying like things like, I'm making this up, but like, left 30 degree, right 30 degree, and try to help navigate you through the turns. And because it looks like a lot of the crashes occur when they lose kind of situational awareness on like what the next thing is.
And if you like watching rally crash videos, here's a challenge for you: as you watch them, there's almost one thing in common with almost every rally car crash you'll see. If you're lucky enough to see it from the back, just look for the brake lights. Like you almost always see the overuse of brakes in almost every rally crash.
Is that because they get
really
loose?
A famous rally racer coined the phrase, Colin McRae, when in doubt, throttle out. So we really, we're on loose surface.
Yeah.
Most of the time there is tarmac rally, but even the tarmac we race on is not, it's not quite like we're used to it up at
right.
The different closed circuits we race. So it's loose surface. So, heavy on the brakes, you usually end up off of the corner.
Yeah, because it's not quite the same as like the dirt tracks are, right? As far as like the dirt consistency, because it's not prepared in the same way. In fact, if anything, it's not prepared at all, right? So you could be going from like mud to hard pack pretty quick.
Right. And we use our brakes, and that's we use them for steering. It's a weird thing, and I think it's kind of a lot like what Mike and the dirt track guys go through. Is you can use your brakes for steering, control, push your back end around and keep your speed up. But I got into it because my attention span's really short, and
that's because you're in the Army, man.
So going in circles, I just drift off, and it doesn't work out well.
Yeah, but you but on Mike's dirt car, for example, they have an ability, or in fact, David Royal's on here in a few minutes. They're able to actually adjust the braking between front and back, like 60%, 40%, 50-50, etc. Can you do that in your car too, or is that not really a thing?
We have a brake bias set up, so we can push more brakes to the rear or to the front, depending on the type of surface.
Yeah.
Depending on ice, if it's slippery or whatnot. The more advanced drivers do a lot more of that. We adjust, we'll run a shakedown before the race and adjust things out. My car is an all-wheel drive car, so I can adjust both the brakes and the torque ratio.
Oh, wow.
to the front to rear also. I can go about 30-70 up to about a 50-50 split on torque. And again, that's depending on road surface.
Wow, and that's I'm assuming all done inside of the I'm assuming that's all done at the end of the day, like inside of like the transmission, right? Like you're just adjusting it from there. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't realize I could do that. So, but listen, let's talk before I let you go, and we have David on. Let's talk about the Jamboree coming up.
Yeah. So I have to think about the date. November 27th.
Yeah.
We're calling it our Thanksgiving Off-Road Jamboree. It's up at VIR, Virginia International Raceway. It's going to be a great day. We have we're going to be running the Patriot Course, which is a tarmac course. We're going to have 3 different rally courses set up. We're going to have the obstacle course set up for for your trucks and stuff, but I guess people could try it in their Fiestas and stuff. But and then we're gonna have some dirt trails for the ATVs and UTVs. We're gonna have some classes going on. We're gonna have some Raptor truck guys out there. We're gonna have rally car folks out there side by side.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Well, listen, I took my wife's Land Cruiser down. She's got a 13 Land Cruiser, and she came down with us, and we took her off road with her car with street tires on. In the obstacle course, and she just was stunned and amazed at what her mom SUV could do.
The Land Cruiser is a Land Cruiser, so I mean they're extremely capable.
Well, that's why we.
I posted something on Facebook the other day about my old Land Cruiser, and I got pretty good feedback on
I
that.
did see that. Wait a sec. This is the part I don't understand. Why did you get rid of it?
I had the PCS, and I couldn't. It was a 93. And I couldn't bring it back to the States yet. And
25 years, right?
Yeah, it had to be 25 years. I sold that Land Cruiser for $3,500.
Oh my God, my heart's sinking into my chest.
Yeah. I paid $2,500 for it, so
yeah. No, those things are amazing. Actually, that's why we have a Land Cruiser in the family, is that I drove them in East Africa all the time, in Djibouti and Somalia, Ethiopia, that sort of thing. And I was like, if I can ever afford one, this is the truck I'm going to get. And that's why we got it.
Well, Toyota is so much aware of how good a vehicle that is. The newest model of Land Cruiser, they're actually putting restrictions on the sales of it.
Oh, wow.
So it won't end up in the hands of the bad guys out there in the world.
Right. Because you know how it is. I mean, if it's good enough for Al-Qaeda, it's good enough for me. Like
right.
But you can't. It's not like a Hilux though. You can't put a Dishka on top of it or anything like that.
I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, you've seen some of the stuff Mike weld. So
that's true. If anyone's going to be able to do that, Mike Evok will. Anyway, listen, Tony, I got to let you go, but listen, I'll be down there on Sunday. I'll be there through Wednesday, so I'll hopefully get a chance to catch up with you down in North Carolina, Virginia.
Right on.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks so much. And with that, we have our next guest ready to go. It's David Royal. David is out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and he races with JD Gunther's Carolina Outlaw Super Street Series, driving the number 7 car. And it's a family affair for David. I mean, he even has his kids fueling the race car. So, David, are you on the line?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And I was telling my kids this morning that your 14-year-old daughter is out there fueling your race car before the events.
Yes, sir. She is. She wouldn't miss it for the world, man. She's the number 07. Actually, that's when I started racing, 2007.
Nice.
My daughter Ava was born in 2007, and yeah, it's got a lot of meaning to it. Yeah, she fuels it all. She really does.
Oh, she's a track kid then, so she's totally gets this.
Yes, absolutely.
When is she going to try to get into go-karts and that sort of thing yet, or?
Funny you brought that up. She don't want to go on go-karts. She actually either wants to go to a sport mod or a crate car, crate late. She's
good for her.
Very interested. Her mom's not, but she is.
That's good for her. Good for her.
Yeah.
So little shout out for her on that. So I really appreciate it. But listen, let's talk about this. So you work at Ford for 21 years. Like, that's a long time. What did the factory build that you were working on?
Well, it was a Cross Creek Lincoln Mercury Subaru at the time.
Oh, wow.
It was a Lincoln Mercury dealership, and Lincoln's was my specialty. I really enjoy turning wrenches. Obviously, stayed with Ford for 21 years.
Gotcha.
Left from there to come work with the Cumberland County Schools Transportation Department, working on school buses. Looking for a better retirement program. Obviously, I wasn't getting any younger, so.
Yeah, none of us are, brother.
Yes.
I mean, I woke up this morning and I heard like my bones creaking.
Yeah, I feel that pain.
Yeah, but so like, let's talk about so you're in a Super Street Series. So what type of car is that? It looks a lot like a late model dirt car, but is that exactly the same thing, or is it a little different?
It's a little different. It's actually what you call a Barry Wright chassis, powered by a Batten built engine. Yeah, it's we have to run a stock clip on the front, and mine is a Camaro clip.
Okay.
JD has recently opened the rules up since he took over this series. Actually, he created the series. Opened the rear suspension up to where we can run either a 3-link or leaf springs. Mine is currently a leaf spring. We're contemplating going to 3-link, which we have never been able to run that rear suspension before. It's always been a leaf spring class, but however, the class was dying. We were losing car counts, and last year, in fact, we met with Scott Tripp and David Mitchell and discussed, hey, they said they needed car count. So JD stepped in and said, hey, let's make a series. And as you know, it's working very well. He's got a Carolina Outlaw Super Street Series. You guys have pitched in tremendously, and other sponsors as well, to help get this series going, and it's working really nice. We've got a good car count every week.
And I think it's an affordable option too, right? Like it's not terribly expensive to get into that particular series compared to some of the other more expensive kind of racing series that you could get into.
Well, affordable, I guess it depends.
It's all relative. I know. But if you've got the bug, man, you're in, baby.
Yes. I mean, we run 600 horsepower engines. They've opened the rules up quite a bit. We're basically what they used to call the junior late models from years ago.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's a nice class to get into. All the drivers very friendly. Like I said, JD's took on a big task himself. He's got some real nice people working for him or with him to keep this series going. It's a great class to get into.
Well, and listen, I can't say enough nice things about JD Gunther. I mean, he really is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. He probably doesn't want me saying that on the radio. He probably wants to look a little tougher than he is, but he is such a nice person. And, I think that everyone I've met that's in that series has just been great.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, the fellow drivers, we share tools, we share parts. If you go to the track and something happens, you can go to any trailer and say, hey, guys, I need this or whatever. And we're all there for each other. It's like you said earlier, it's a family affair, man. We consider each other brothers. We really enjoy it. Yeah.
And how many people actually in that series? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think our first race we had 26, 27 cars. And on any given week, it's usually between 16, 17 to 25 cars. We have a good car count.
Yeah, that's a little more than I thought there was there.
Yeah, it's working out really well. Like I said, JD's changed some rules around from what it used to be and opened the door up, so we got a lot more cars coming in, and it's very competitive, man. These guys, it's just a great group of guys, and I wouldn't want to be in any other class.
Yeah, and how long have you been in this particular class?
This particular class, okay. When I started out in 2007, I started out in pure stock. They allowed us the next year to run the same car at pure stock and super street. So back then, about 08, I started running super street and been in it ever since.
Gotcha. So that's actually a long time now. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, it's a long time, but not compared to some guys. I mean, you got this cat, Ron Pope, man. He's been doing this, I think, since he started walking, and he's a tough guy to beat.
He is actually. We were trying to get him on our show the other day, but he had to skip. But what a nice guy he is too. In fact, my daughter runs around with his Ron Pope hat on as her hat that she wears when she's out sailing and stuff. So there's definitely that connection there. She's 16 though. She's not. She's doing sailboat racing, not motorsports.
Well, she needs a 07 hat. Is what she needs.
Well, I'll tell you, you got to send me one. I'll make sure she has it. We'll get it out of the water. But that's great. And again, I think we talked about like your daughter is in there. You have two girls, right? Is your other one not involved in racing, or is she doing some stuff too?
Actually, she is. She's involved as much as she possibly can. She goes to Campbell University. She's in the nursing program up there. She's so she's in and out. With school. She's with this virus and everything going around.
Sure.
She hadn't been able to come around a lot, so she stayed in her apartment. But no, she's been home this whole summer, and she's been to a couple races. She's at that age where she's got so much school going on, it makes it a little harder for her to show up to all the races. But yes, she's involved in it. And like I said, the youngest one as well. It's a family affair.
Gotcha. And so what's next steps for you guys? I mean, you guys have more. Did I hear August they're taking off and we're going to restart in September? Is that what I heard?
Yes, sir. We're going to make a few changes to the car. We had a stellar year last year, so it's made it difficult this year to try to match it or beat it. And we're going to make a few more changes to this new car we got, and see if we can't go out next year and bring some more wins on.
Oh yeah. When's the next races coming up for you guys?
Actually, this weekend, the next race is at Lakeview Motor Speedway, and JD's took on some big task with that. He's upped the purse for everybody, and he's got some really good sponsors pitching in. In fact, Racing for Heroes is one of them. Nichols Plumbing, Blackwell's Landscaping, Absolute Drive Axle, Chatley Boat Marine, All Star Construction, Raging Rooster. There's and I'm sure I've missed some. Dwayne Lee with Allstate Insurance. We've got a good group of sponsors helping us out.
Well, because I heard like
JD's really done his homework.
Oh no, he has. Well, I heard like Blackwell Landscaping's there, H&D Farms, Case Daniels, Absolute Axles, I think is one of your guys' sponsors, with Michael Freeman, who's also a driver. I'm going to try to have him on at some point. And I know you have, like you said, you have the Lakeview this weekend. But let's see, I'm trying to think. Scott, and Scott's the owner of Lakeview, if I'm not mistaken, and Brenda's at County Line.
Yeah, Scott's a super man. He's when you go to Lakeview, he's at the gate when you come in.
Oh wow!
And he's talking to everybody just as friendly as he could be. He asks you, what can he do to make it better? What can he do to help? He's just a stellar person. Stellar. Gotcha.
And then I'm just trying. JD sent me some pointers here, but he said there's 38 different drivers, and there's a rookie of the year, first year in a car with a first in rookie points, 7th in the series. Mac Fry, I think is the name.
Mac Fry, man, you talk about a nice young man. He really is. He's improving so much. In fact, it's funny you brought up Mac. I had a tire go down last week. I was running fourth, and I had to go change the tire. And when I went back out, I was behind Mac. And the last 5 laps, I could not get around Mac. He's really stepped his game up, man. He's going to be a tough competitor.
Yeah. How old is Mac? Is he a young guy or?
If I had to guess, Mac's about 16, maybe 17 tops, I think.
Oh boy. Okay. All right.
Young man.
Yeah, because we had David Truman on not too long ago, who unfortunately his dad passed away unexpectedly this week. So putting that out in the universe, but. He's a young kid too. So I mean, the range in age here, and I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but if I could guess, that age range is everything from kids in high school through people looking at AARP on there too. So
yeah, I don't mind telling you, I'll be 52 in a couple months, and I don't plan on quitting anytime soon.
I'm right behind you, brother. I turned 50 in September.
Yeah, and in fact, hey, we got some other guys out there. Jared Johnson, he's got a couple years on me. He's, it's a wide range of age there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even I think Ron Pope is getting up there too. But I always used to tell people that age and treachery always beats youth and beauty. So you got that going for you, no matter what.
I appreciate that. Yeah, well, yeah. Old Ron's getting on up in age. Don't let him fool you. He still thinks he's a young man, but he's around good though.
Yeah, he's trying to trick people. That's really what's going on. But no, that's great. And if anyone wants to check out the Carolina Outlaw Super Street Series, where should they go to get more information?
Actually, the Carolina Outlaw Super Street Series website. JD's made a website. I say JD has. It's either JD or. Yeah, well, I think it was JD. Yeah, there is a web page. Yeah.
Well, I know there's a Facebook page. So, and it's COSS or COSSS, and then it'll pop up because it's like the only one that's got that acronym. So it's amazing.
Right.
But yeah, because I think that's great because like it even shows all the cars and stuff like that, like Ron's car, your car, etc. So he's really doing such a great job putting that out there for everyone.
Well, like I said, he's got some good help. He really does. These guys, and they put a lot of effort into it, and it shows. This class is really coming together, and it's going to be something to reckon with. I mean, he's got a schedule for 3 tracks: County Line, Fayetteville, and Lakeview, and he's actually talking to other promoters about putting us on some more tracks. And
oh, great.
If it wasn't for him, I don't think we'd had a place to race this year.
Yeah, you know, you're not the first person that said that. And, you know, again, like I said, I thank David. I thank all the sponsors that are making it happen. You know, Brenda down at County Line and David at Fayetteville, who I've met before. I haven't met Scott yet down at Lakeville, but I'm hoping to try to get to a race there at some point this summer.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'd like to see it here, man. We really would. We've got, like I said, back to what I was talking about, a good group of guys. I mean, you know, JD has put this thing together so well that it's like clockwork. I mean, it's amazing. You got Kip Thompson on the radio, you know, in our ear. He's in Racing for Heroes Victory Lane at Fayetteville. I mean, he's just.
Well, he was on last week.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, JD has put a good group together. He really has.
Oh, wait, what did Kip say about you? And I got to close the show with this, but he said something like you were going into that turn as smooth as cream cheese on a bagel. I think was.
He's got a way with words, man. It just rolls right off his tongue. He's got it figured out. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, David, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it, and hope to see you do great things on the track.
We appreciate you. You guys take care.
All right. Thanks so much. And with that, Race of Heroes fans, it is the end of the show. I really appreciate everyone. Please check out our website, www.racingforheroes.org, and see what the latest stuff is. And we'll leave you with the real Doug Lane a little further down the road. Thanks, everyone.